Private security manifests in a lot of different ways. What a lot of people think about when they hear the term private security is they think about guards in a uniform, maybe a radio, somebody at a front desk. At Convoy Group, we started from a very different place. Convoy Group is headquartered in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and this is where we were founded. But we serve clients across the nation and globally. We work with everybody from small community service nonprofits to major nonprofits based out of both the Bay Area and Washington, D.C. We work with multi-jurisdictional law enforcement agencies. We work with defense tech companies, corporations, family offices, and everything in between. Part of the problems with the opaque service delivery and the neglected organizational culture, it creates hidden risks for clients. And oftentimes these risks are not illuminated until there's an actual problem. And then there's a, for lack of a better term, post-mortem conducted on the incident, and you start to identify negative culture or a lack of adherence to high reliability principles or tenets or things of that nature, or a lack of operational oversight, have all created risks that could have been mitigated, or at the very least mitigated, if not entirely reduced, prior to the incident occurring. Everything that we do builds off of our foundation. Our foundation is framed around high reliability theory, the principles of high reliability organizations, but also our values. Those are what drive everything that we do from the decision-making side, both as an organization, as a collective, but even as individuals within the organization. Those values are transparency, training, teamwork, professionalism, autonomy, and flexibility. Over time, our services have evolved into 4 core pillars and then a 5th value-oriented pillar. But our first core pillar is protective services. These are services such as close and executive protection, guarding support in some circumstances, hostile termination and workplace violence support, and event security, as well as others. Security consulting is our second core service pillar, and it is somewhat of a nebulous term, and it can mean a lot of different things. But for us, as Convoy Group, this includes everything from security program audits and development and management in some circumstances, to threat and vulnerability assessments on physical infrastructure, to intelligence program development. The human element of security programs is much more important than the physical security infrastructure, because ultimately it is people that manage and run these programs at the macro level, but also at the micro level. Intelligence and investigations is our third core service pillar. This includes everything from open source intelligence investigations to link and social network analysis to support attorneys, to surveillance. And ultimately, the goal of all of this is to take raw information, analyze it, process it, and put it into a format that it is actionable for the people that need to make decisions. Because ultimately, this information is designed to support decision makers' ability to keep people in places safer. And that's the entire role of intelligence, is to support protective operations and to support people's ability to make more effective decisions. Training is our fourth core service pillar. This includes everything from training executive protection teams, to intelligence and investigation professionals, to security leaders. These trainings include everything from open source intelligence for collection, analysis, and intelligence product development, to surveillance detection, to close and executive protection operations, and everything in between. Philanthropy is our fifth value-oriented pillar. For us, service doesn't end just because the mission does. The vast majority of Convoy Group are veterans of either the military or law enforcement, and it's very important that we give back to those organizations as well as the community-related organizations where we live and work. So we donate our time, we donate our money, and we also help community service and small volunteer nonprofits with pro bono services whenever we can. There are a lot of different ways to approach security relationships or the provision of security services. We rely on principles to guide the implementation of those services, and that is what subsumes the way that we approach our security and intelligence related work. We don't delineate strictly between protective services or intelligence related services or the consulting aspect, because there is no strict delineation in real life. So everything that we do is integrated. Our protective services are supported by in-house protective intelligence. Our consulting support is supported by our vast knowledge in protective services, as well as on the protective intelligence side. And this is the way that we approach every engagement that we have. If your organization values transparency, accountability, and a principle-based approach to security or consulting or intelligence-related services, that is exactly who we are, and that's what we provide.